All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
That'd be absolutely devastating.
This is Joey Owens' show. They've been trying to get me on this broadcast forever, and this is the worst damn podcast I've ever been on. So you all can kiss my ass while I win this match.
All right, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to Gonzo'S Wrestling Room. Tuesday, January 2nd, 2024. I got it right.
Got it right.
Almost said Monday. Used to being on Mondays. I'm Chris Gonzo'S, joined by Tony Gonzo'S. Also joined by Marcus Fine, as always. And then tonight we're joined by Big Glenn and Austin Gonzalez.
What's up?
Good evening, guys. I am not at the Full House right now, but this is the background. So,
So what exactly is your background there, Glenn?
it's the Gamebridge Full House, the picture of the Gamebridge Full House after dark with the lights up and stuff. So, it's on the Pennsylvania Street side. So,
Okay. Well, I think we'll get started. We'll start off with our indie report. Marcus, you was the only one that went to the show this past.
Glenn went to the show too.
Yeah, Glenn was there too. Sorry about that. Glenn was there too. Glenn can give his review too. So, WCW on Friday night.
You want me to cover our condolences first?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. I'm sure everybody knows by now that we lost a dear friend in Indiana wrestling today. Well, actually, we lost him Sunday morning. Steve Branham, anybody that was part of Indiana wrestling over the last 30 years would know who Steve was. He's a great friend. He went by JT Branham. And I've known him since 2002, I think, is when we met him. And that's a dear loss. As you can tell by reading Facebook, he impacted a lot of people. And so our condolences go out to Matt, his son, which is an active referee in the state, and the Branham family, and the loss of Steve. So,
And to answer a question from Eddie Rodriguez, want to know if this is live? Yes, it is live.
well, live, pal.
Live, pal. Okay, guys.
all right, we ready for these results?
Yes, we are.
Friday night, Kelly and I done it. One on the show, Friday night. So I'd give the show a solid high B, low A. I mean, it was pretty good. Brody Bawkins defeated a guy, Calvin Coco. Calvin Coco, we decided was the guy that came in with Elgin at Lafayette that tagged with him. He went by Xavier then.
Yep.
It's the same guy. So Phoenix and Jackson Morgan defeated Waterboy and Pogo. D-Buck Sexton defeated Timmy Jackson. I'm going to skip a match. Maliko defeated David Light. PJ Powers defeated Max Sterling and Thomas Moore, Big T Thomas Moore, in a triple threat match. Main event, Hidari and Cecil Cerveza defeated Kenneth James and Jordan James.
In the match tonight.
And the match that I skipped, match of the year by everybody that was there. Slipped in the number one at the last minute. Michael Elgin defeated Zay Gates in a 30-minute. He went at least 30 minutes. Now it was a non-title, but
Yeah.
fantastic.
I watched it on YouTube, and I think it said 31 minutes and That probably had introductions too in it, but 31 something.
Right. I was going to tell you, and Glenn's seen it as well. If he was in the arena, those guys worked so damn hard on that match that when it was over,
Zay got picked
he
up
did.
back.
He went over to the wall next to the ring and puked his ass off. And Michael Elgin was so hot, pouring sweat, that steam was literally coming off of him. I mean, you could see it coming off his head, off his shoulders.
He looked like Mr. Freeze out there when he was signing stuff, whatever it was he was doing.
So, yeah, if he wasn't in the arena, I doubt the camera might have picked it up. But match of the year, I've never seen anybody go so hard that they threw up and steam was coming off the other guy. I mean,
That's crazy.
fantastic.
Anything else, Marcus, on the indie scene?
That's all. That's all.
Okay,
I know there was a show down in Brazil, I think, had a few good matches, but I couldn't tell you. I know Jake Oman defeated Brandon Day. I do know that down there. So,
okay, I got a couple notes real quick. The first one is Carson Drake officially signed with NWA. That's cool. That's somebody we've seen quite a bit on the independent scene. And he's officially signed to NWA contract, so that's congratulations to him. Hopefully more big things to come. And then the other thing was Friday night, I watched on my Fire Stick, I got to see Speedball Mike Bailey take on Dex Royal. And I've been trying to find out how many people was there, but there was a lot of people there. I'm going to say at least a couple of thousand, maybe more in this arena in Cleveland, Ohio. But Dex Royal getting the big victory over Speedball Mike Bailey. Speedball Mike Bailey, for people don't know out there, been around for quite a while, a very accomplished wrestler, was rated in 2023 number 39 on the Pro Wrestling Illustrated list. So a very accomplished wrestler. So a big win for Dex Royal.
Yeah.
In Cleveland, Ohio. I just wanted to put that out there. And now we'll get to our Pro Wrestling Report. We'll start off with NXT from last Tuesday. Braun Breaker over Nathan Frazier, and a great match. That'd be something you guys would want to check out because it was really good. Also, Cora Jade beat Carmen Petrov. And the reason I bring that up is that was the only women's match on the show. And I bring it up because of this. It was the only women's match on the show, but they had 3 other segments on the show featuring women and storylines. Even though they didn't have matches, they still featured a lot of women, which I think is important to do that. Even if you may not have one match on your show, but you still can feature people. So I like that. And then the it may have been match of the week. You guys might want to check this match out. NXT Underground match was the main event. Dijak versus Eddie Thorpe. 2 guys who normally don't get main event time in NXT did in this match. It's no ropes. The ropes were taken off the ring. It was knockout, submission only. Fantastic match. If you haven't seen it, look up NXT and check out that match because it was really, really good. Next up was NWA Power. I believe Marcus may have got to see this last Tuesday. It was started off with the Christmas Wish Tag Team Battle Royal. The winner of the Battle Royal gets a shot at the U.S. Tag Team titles. And we was wondering about this team. Was they going to get any how they were going to get used? Well, the Slime Balls won the Tag Team Battle Royal, and they will be going for the U.S. Tag Team titles in a future
The
date.
Slime Balls?
Slime Balls.
Slime Balls.
A cross between the Nasty Boys and who else?
Headbangers.
Headbangers.
They kind of remind me of the
This guy's small,
Headbangers.
this guy's big. And they can take a beat. They take bumps. But next matchup was Talus and Daisy Kill. They defeated Carson Drake, which I mentioned earlier, and Lord Crew, who's also been wrestling around the Midwest and the Indiana area for quite a while in a tag team match. Missa Kate defeated Sal the Pal. And then a replay, which Marcus got to see this match, of Kenzie Page winning the NWA Women's Championship from Camille a few months ago at NWA 75. They replayed that match. That's a match that people find definitely want to check out. Marcus,
Yeah.
what do you think of the NWA show?
I thought it was pretty good this week. But that ladies' match at the end, my goodness.
Yep.
That was fantastic. Those women held nothing back.
Yep, I agree. Really good. Next up, AEW Dynamite from last Wednesday. Moxley defeated Swerve Strickland and Jay White in a three-way match to see who goes on to the finals and wrestle at the pay-per-view, which we'll be covering the pay-per-view here in a little bit. Eddie Kingston beat Brian Danielson. I know Eddie Kingston is one of Austin's favorites, and then Samoa Joe turned on MJF, and more of that when we get to the pay-per-view. So that's it for that. And speaking of the pay-per-view, we're going to talk about that now. Give you the results, and then I'm going to give the grades of what Bleacher Report give it. And then I don't know if anybody else seen. I know Austin watched the pay-per-view, and I watched the pay-per-view. So we'll discuss that some. AEW World's End pay-per-view. Let me see here. First match of the night was Danielson, Garcia, and Castioli and Briscoe in an 8-man tag, and they took on Lethal, Jay White, and Roosh and Brody King. Winner of that match was Danielson and Garcia and Castioli and Briscoe. Garcia getting the pin on Lethal. Bleacher Report give that match a B+. I give that match a B. Austin, what'd you give that?
I also had it a B. I thought it was an entertaining 8-man, but nothing really to it. Just some entertaining spots and stuff. I thought Briscoe and Roosh were probably the two best parts of the match, to be honest. I thought them two were the best in it.
Okay. Next up was Miro, who defeated Andrade, and Bleacher Report give that match a B-.
I actually gave that match a C-. It wasn't. Sorry, this cat is trying to climb up in front of my phone. It wasn't a bad match. It was just very boring. It was very hard to stay into it. I don't really have anything terrible to say about it. It was just very boring.
The crowd was very dead during that match, and I give it a C. It was okay, but it seemed just a little off. I don't know, but again, Bleacher Report give that a B-. Next up was Toni Storm taking on Rio. Toni Storm beat Rio for the AEW Women's Championship. She retained. Bleacher Report give that a B-.
That's exactly what I gave it.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was an okay match. I thought the wrestling was there. It felt like it was missing something, but it was overall. I thought it was a decent match.
I give it a C+. And so you guys know I don't hardly give anything below a C because I think the wrestlers go out there and work hard and try their best. So I don't. Some people might get on this. Well, that's an F or that's a D. I usually don't do that because it'd have to really, really be bad for me to give a grade like that because I just try to have respect for the I've seen wrestling for a long time, and I know it's a very difficult thing to do. So, not that I've done it myself. I have not. Next up, we had Swerve Strickland defeat Dustin Rhodes. Dustin Rhodes took the place of Keith Lee, last-minute scratch for the match. They give that match, Bleacher Report, a C+.
Yeah. So this is where the pay-per-view started getting on my nerves a little bit. The match itself wasn't what I gave it, but I did give it a D-, but not because the match itself was terrible. I just hated the booking. They already had Dustin come in instead of Keith Lee, which is fine because apparently, they're together. But they had Swerve come out there and just attack him right off. I thought it was great. Started out great. He pretty much broke his ankle with like a cinder block. And I thought it was great. They're walking him out. Next thing I know, Dustin's coming back hobbling and almost like makes the match competitive. Like they had Dustin hit him with a Canadian Destroyer, almost beat him. And I just felt like it shouldn't have been competitive at all. And it was terrible booking, in my opinion. I thought it ruined the momentum of their biggest star. So
it's hard to disagree with what you're saying. I get where you're going because he completely destroys them for 5 or 6 minutes. Then they start the match and go another 10 minutes when he's supposed to be pretty much crippled and almost wins the match. So
yep, it was just aggravating.
The match didn't make sense. I give it a C, but it didn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, my rating is just because of that. It's not that the match itself was terrible. It was more the booking and stuff.
Next up was Sting, Darby Allin, Jericho, and G.W.R, another 8-man tag, taking on Ricky Starks, Big Bill, Hobbs, and Takashita. So, Austin, what was your thoughts on this match?
There was a lot going on in this match. First of all, there should have been two 8-man. This match shouldn't have really happened, in my opinion. Uh, the crowd kind of hijacked it with Jericho thing going on. I really won't speak on too much of that, but let's just say the crowd
I'm
was
gonna bring it
not
up in a
into
minute.
the match. It was honestly, it wasn't even near as good as the other 8-man. I gave it a C minus. It could have been a D, honestly. I mean, the wrestling wasn't terrible. It just nothing was clicking. It just seemed off.
It was thrown together. It sounds like.
Yeah, it was just thrown together, and the crowd, it took all the wrestlers out of it. They was really on Jericho pretty bad, pretty hard booing him, almost booing him out of the place. Honestly,
Yeah, I heard that.
they was pretty hard on Jericho. Deserved, I don't know, but
And all that other stuff, you know.
yeah, and it sucks for Sting because Sting's last match in that arena was he's getting ready to retire, and the show was kind of
March.
hijacked, and the match was sloppy. Nothing was working. I give it a C. Probably
That was his
deserved
last
worse.
match.
Last match before his retirement match comes up in
March.
February, I think, March. Okay.
And they
It
put
was
him
his
in
last
an
match in New
8-man?
York, I think.
They put him in
Yep.
8-man.
Well, that kind of disgraded him as well. And I'll get him watch it.
They haven't said who his final opponent's going to be for his
Probably
last.
Darby.
Huh?
Maybe Darby.
And maybe Darby. Some people said Ric Flair. I don't know. Hope not.
No, I hope not.
Oh, yeah, hope not. That's not even entertain that idea.
Well, the crowd shouldn't be hijacking the match anyway. I mean, whether I know there's accusations and stuff, but he hasn't been convicted of anything.
Yep. But they did. But we're talking about a New York crowd, so that's not
Yeah,
illegal.
true. Frankie would know about that.
We got some guy got some opinions, high opinions on Jericho here. Should be ashamed of yourself for not believing Jericho. I didn't say I didn't believe Jericho. I'm not saying
Let's
I
just
don't.
move on from the topic. I don't even want to talk about it.
Okay. Next up, Julia Hart beat Abaddon for the TBS championship. She retained. Bleacher Report give that a C plus. I said earlier I don't give anything below a C. I give this a C minus, and it probably deserved an F. In my opinion, honestly, Julia Hart, they're trying to build her into a big star, and she's just not very good in the ring. Very beautiful girl. The crowd loves her. They love her because of her looks, and the match, she's not very good in the ring. Abaddon did everything she could do and Abaddon's pretty decent. She did everything she could do, but the match was not very good.
Yeah, I agree with.
Part time though. Is Abaddon part time? Like doesn't wrestle every week?
I'm not sure.
Like
she's officially signed or not. She's been wrestling quite a bit lately. I don't know if she's.
So I've seen her like on and off, like not like every.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that I pretty much agree with you guys saying. I gave it a D minus. I couldn't help it. I felt like it had to be in the D's. It wasn't good. At the end when she did the moonsault and she landed on her feet, and that was the finish. Abaddon was on the ground trying to take a moonsault, and she landed on her feet in front of her and then pinned her. She didn't even touch her. Yeah.
Next up was Christian Cage and Adam Copeland for the TNT title. Adam Copeland won the title and then lost it back in about 1 minute later.
Yeah.
I originally give that match a B plus. I thought it was pretty strong. Had a couple spots. It was a little rough, but I thought they worked hard. I liked the match. But then when they did that swerve at the end, that I thought was horrible. And he lost the title right back. I knocked it down to a B. Austin, what'd you give it?
So I actually was on pace to give it an A minus probably. I was very entertained by it. It wasn't a great technical match, but it was really good hardcore match and just very entertaining. Then, it had a couple spots that were sloppy, but I gave it a B plus at the end because of the table spot. But I don't really blame him for that. It looked bad. He pretty much missed the table and it was on fire. and the ending that kind of sucked.
Bleacher Report give that an A minus.
I think that if the ending was Luchasaurus maybe turning on Christian and then him having actually winning the belt himself, I think it would have went over a lot better. But having Christian take it and just do that, yeah, kind of sucked.
Okay, this is the match I've been looking forward to getting into with Austin. Eddie Kingston beat John Moxley for the Continental Championship. It was part of a big tournament they had featuring like 12 wrestlers. And Eddie Kingston ended up winning. Austin, I'll let you know what Bleacher Report give this match. Bleacher Report give this match the highest grade on the whole show. They give it an A.
Okay, I gave it a D minus.
Can you tell me
It was
why?
awful. It was nothing against either wrestler, but it was awful in my opinion. First of all, no selling at all. It's they get knocked out with a big hit that's supposed to knock a wrestler down for a minute, and they'd hop right back up. I hate that. Then they do the chop. I don't mind chopping, but they stand in the middle of the ring and they'll do the chop, and then they'll be like, "Oh, you come on, you do one." I hate that. I never like that spot when they do that. It just doesn't make sense to me. And I know Kingston's supposed to be this amazing striker, strong style. I don't see it. He wants to be it, in my opinion, but he's not good at it. That's just my opinion. He does little baby chops in the corner. I think that's one of the worst things I've ever seen. And the finish, he did the back fist, and it looked like he just pimp slapped.
He did a slap. It wasn't a fist. It was
I'm telling you, he just pimp slapped. He
And
straight
that's
up
how
pimp
he did
slapped,
it.
and that was the finish.
He knocked out Moxley, who knows
He backhanded.
everything. He knocked out Moxley with an open hand back slap.
He knocked Moxley out the pip slap.
Yeah, the pimp slap.
Yeah. I thought it was.
We're not lying about this.
I haven't watched
And then the commentating, they were saying they're building up, and Dana Bryan was fine on commentary, but they were building up that Moxley was this great grappler all of a sudden, and Kingston's this great striker, and Kingston's out here looking like a boxer, and I'm like, what am I watching? I just did not like it. I'm sorry. I've never been sold on Kingston, and Moxley is not as good as he once was, in my opinion. So I give it a D minus. Maybe it could have been a C,
I
but
give it a C.
they're supposed to be these two bigger stars in the company, so that's why I'm a little harder on them. So
Okay, our last match of the night was Samoa Joe against MJF. He defeated MJF with a rear naked choke. So new champion Samoa Joe, and at the end, it was revealed that Adam Cole is the devil.
yep.
Oh shit.
So
Yeah, I had this match as the tied for the best match with Edge and them. I thought it was a really good match. The ending was a little weird. I had it as a B plus, by the way. It was a little weird with the choke out because they were doing the hand thing and I expected to go up and then it went down. It kind of just threw me off. It wasn't bad. It just unexpected.
I don't think it was supposed to end there. I think MJF called an audible and said, "I'm ending it." I think he was supposed to lose, but I think he was done, and the ref was unexpected. I think he thought the hand was coming up, and it didn't.
Yeah,
He didn't
it
really
did.
know what to do.
It did look like maybe he was supposed to put his hand up, but it wasn't like it didn't mess up the match or thing. I thought it was a really solid match. I thought they both had good storytelling match. I thought it was good wrestling, and in the devil thing, I'm happy that's over. It had its moments. It was on too long, but I do think Adam Cole being the devil was the best choice. So
Yeah, good crowd on that.
Okay, and they give it a. I give it a B plus, like you, Mark, Chris, or Austin. Excuse me, I'm off. Like you, Austin, I give it a B
Hey,
plus.
you might as well say Glenn's name.
Yeah,
That's why you
Glenn.
said everybody's name.
Yes,
You got
okay. Bleacher Report give it an A minus, so that's not too far off. But Bleacher Report give several A's, B pluses, but then they give the whole show a C plus, which kind of didn't make sense to me with the grades that they gave. I give it a C at best.
I gave it a C as well.
I'm gonna go
That's
back
what I
and watch
did.
a little bit of it just to see some of the stuff you guys are talking about. But
I'm
I
just
haven't
gonna be honest, and I'm not a big AEW fan, so maybe it could be a little biased. But for me, there was only 4 matches on that card that felt like they were okay being pay-per-view matches, and one of them was kind of like 2 of them were kind of slightly like the Tony Storm one, the first 8-man tag, Edge and Christian in the main event. Well, Adam Cole and Christian, in the main event. Those were really the only 4 matches I thought were pay-per-view quality. All the other ones really had no
Business be
reason
on.
to be on pay-per-view.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I think it got hurt a little bit with how they booked the match with Swerve. It would have been a lot better if Keith Lee would have been there, but I didn't like how they booked that match personally. Yeah, that's one of my complaints. I mean, you're trying to have 9 matches, and I know what they're thinking is we want to give them as much entertainment, as many matches, make it worth the $50 for the pay-per-view. I understand that, but sometimes I think quality over quantity. That's in my opinion.
You don't do that many matches every pay-per-view. You know, you can't act like every pay-per-view is your biggest pay-per-view. You have to have ones that set up, and it should have had 6, maybe 7 at the most.
Yeah, with
And
the
I think they
pre-show, they had 12 matches. So that's a lot of matches.
way
And-
too many.
Did
And the pre-show
Walter
matches
Buckley
weren't good
promote
either.
that show?
Yeah, I think Walter Buckley's helped out on that show.
The pre-show matches, I seen 2 of them. I didn't see the first one, which I kind of wish I would have seen it because I thought it was probably going to be the best one. But the Battle Royal, that one was not good at all. And then Hook versus who did he face again? I can't remember.
I do not remember, to be honest with you.
There you go. That's all I really need to tell you
Yeah,
about
I
that.
didn't watch the pre-show, so I don't remember. Okay, next up was Monday Night Raw last night. It was day 1, and I thought it was a really good show. Started off with Nia Jax, another one of Austin's favorite wrestlers, Nia Jax. Took on Becky Lynch. I'll be honest with you, this is probably as good as match I've seen Nia have.
What you got against Nia
And it
Jax,
was-
man? What you got against Nia Jax?
Sloppy.
It was her best
sloppy.
match. Yeah, it was her best match she's done, and it was still maybe a C.
It's her best match of the year, right? Is that what you're saying?
Oh yeah,
It's only day
and it was
one.
because of Becky.
I take it
That-
Marcus is a Nia Jax fan either.
I thought it was a pretty strong match. I really did. I thought Nia did pretty well. I don't disagree that Becky helped that along because Becky's very good and a great professional. But I thought the match was pretty entertaining. I enjoyed the match. That's
Same
a-
here.
all I'll say is there was another women's match that was 10 times better than it.
There was another women's match that was definitely better on there, and I was getting ready to get to that. That was
Yeah, that was
Rhea
a hard
Ripley against Ivy Nile.
Yep.
Ivy Nile performed her ass off. It was fantastic. I thought Rhea was very good too. Helped her along definitely, but still, I think Ivy Nile performed great. I thought that was a real good match.
It was the night. It was a match of the night, in my opinion.
Yeah, same here, man. To see Ivy now down in NXT last February, to see how far she's come since then, that is insane.
And she's got something. The crowd is behind her already. I'm telling you, they need to keep pushing her like that because
Yes.
she can get really big.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think she could, and the team that she teams with, Diamond Mine. I think what's their names?
Creed brothers.
Creed
They're
Brothers.
great, too.
I think they've got something with them 3. Next up, we had a WWE former champion show up.
Yeah, about that one. I thought that was pretty funny. The first guy that came out, because that would have been something I'd come up with.
We were cracking up watching. That was great.
The crowd.
It was great.
Because
I know that's what was great was the crowd's reaction. They were stunned. They were so mad.
yeah, he come out and somebody didn't know what to think, and then he starts to spill, and I knew somebody else was going to come out. I wasn't for sure who it was going to be, and
You
boo.
knew somebody was coming out because when they had that close-up shot on Gender, you could see everybody in the crowd start to stand up and have their phone ready.
Yep.
You saw the camera guy probably run up to the ramp.
Yep.
of
I
course-
noticed that too.
Of course, The Rock made his appearance, and it was pretty funny bit. I thought it was a little long.
It was the same old rock
I
stuff.
was saying rock stuff's always been long. So
Yeah. It was probably 20, 25 minutes long, the whole segment. I thought it was a little long, but I thought it was. I still thought the crowd loved it. Went very well. But the big thing was at the end of his segment. He said he was getting ready to go get something to eat. He was going to. Should he go sit at a booth, or should he sit at the bar, or should he sit at the head of the table?
Yeah.
I think you should have set the bar, to be honest with you. That's
What's funny is it was before the crowd knew what he was heading to, and he said the bar. The crowd went nuts.
Yeah,
I was like, do they not know where he's going with this yet?
And I don't think they did. And then he said, "Well, I like the bar too." But then he said the head of the table, and internet went crazy. David Reckerson busted open. They had to talk him off the ledge because he's such a Cody Rhodes fan.
Some of the shit you see on the internet, you'd have thought Cody Rhodes died yesterday.
I know. That's what
it's like
Dude, it was there's a meme that someone made of a picture of the CM Punk pipe bomb, but it's Cody Rhodes. They said this is Cody Rhodes next week after Rock came out.
We'll talk about that here in a minute.
When he was going to wrestle him, I think he's going to wrestle him down in Australia to set up. Yeah.
That's what I think too. We'll talk about that in just a second. Let me finish here with Raw. Yeah. The main event was Drew McIntyre against Seth Rollins. I thought it was a really good match. Drew ended up losing. He had Drew screwed Drew. He had him pinned, but when he cradled him up, he took his legs up over the ropes and didn't realize it, and the referee had to count.
Yeah, and I like that. That was a different way to do the rope break. It was a way to make it fresh and still do the rope break. I thought that was a good idea to have him try to pin him so much that his foot went on the rope. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, I did too, and I thought it was a really good show. I really enjoyed it. Austin, what did you think of the show?
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty solid show. I thought, like I said, Ivy Nile and Rhea was the best match. Drew and Seth were really good too. One thing in that match when Priest came out to try to cash in, and they're like he failed, and the match is over. Seth's in the middle of the ring down. Drew's in the middle of the ring down. They're all saying, "Oh, another failed cash in." I'm like, what do you mean? Everybody's down. Go in the ring and cash in.
Yes.
I was a little confused by them saying, "Oh, another failed cash in," while you had Priest and Dom standing up perfectly fine. And Seth's in the ring knocked out, and Drew's in the ring knocked out. I'm like, no, this is the perfect time to do it. So that was kind of weird. They should have just had them still down or something. But
yeah, I agree. And one thing I didn't write down that I did want to cover real quick, see what you thought of this. I thought it was hilarious. R-Truth.
Oh, dude, that segment was great.
Had the Miz was going to interview the Judgment Day. Well, R-Truth thinks he's in the Judgment Day, so he comes out and he's doing an interview. Well, then Dom and McDonough come out and said that you're not in the Judgment Day. The Judgment Day would never do an interview with the Miz. They get in the ring and they start arguing back and forth. And I'm having a brain fart. The Miz challenges the Judgment Day to a match. Well, they agree to it. Well, of course, Crazy R-Truth thinks he's part of the Judgment Day, and he thinks he's tagging with Dom.
Yeah.
He hates JD. He don't want nothing to do with JD. So he during the match he starts over with Miz. He's over trying to tag Dom in. It's hard to explain. It was very, very funny and very well done. R-Truth is a treasure, man. He's outstanding.
Yeah, he can still go in the ring too. He's great.
Yeah, he can still go, definitely. But
he's the only person that makes me laugh every time.
Yep. Yeah, and it was funny. Even after the match, after they beat the Judgment Day, he was over at Dom winking at Dom. It's just very funny.
And he did the little Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels thing. Sorry, I love you.
Yeah, he was going to hit the Miz. They was holding the Miz, and he's going to hit the Miz. He told the Miz, he said, "I'm sorry, I love you," and he punches at him, and of course the Miz moves and he knocks out whoever JD McDonough, and he gets pinned. So it was pretty funny. It was pretty classic. So you might look that up.
Yeah, it was a classic R-Truth on that one.
Yeah, I agree. So the last thing I wanted to bring up, of course, tonight, big NXT show called New Year's Evil. And then Friday night, they've got New Year's Revolution on Friday Night SmackDown. So them shows you might want to check out. I think they're going to be all really good. And then also Thursday on on Peacock at 8 o'clock, we're having a special preview show. And Triple H is going to make a huge announcement live on this show. So this is going to be a live show Thursday at 8 p.m. on Peacock. And I'm wondering, what do you guys think what this announcement going to be?
What is it? It's on the pre-show. What?
It's going to be a preview show on Peacock Thursday night at 8 p.m. And they've got some stars going to be on the show. And it's got some type of preview show. I really don't know exactly what's going to be.
When you say on Peacock, like on the WWE network?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's going to be live on the Peacock network.
I mean,
WWE network.
Yeah, but it's
isn't there
at 8 p.m. and Triple H is going to make a special, huge announcement. I think it's a huge announcement. This is my opinion, and Glenn referred to it earlier. I think it's going to be The Rock and Roman at Australia. That's a 70,000 person stadium that they've got to sell out. That's why I think they're going to go. I think they're going to help build Roman back up, and he's going to beat The Rock. It's going to be a match for the head of the table, and that's my opinion. That's my prediction.
And that's what I hope happens as well. Um, Personally, I just don't think The Rock. I get it. He's The Rock, but he doesn't deserve the main event of WrestleMania this year. Roman barely does, in my opinion. He really doesn't. Cody does, so I hope Cody doesn't get screwed for that. But I don't think he will. So I don't think he will get screwed. So I think being in Australia would be a good idea. I think that's a good idea.
I think it is a good idea, but what they really should be announcing is when WrestleMania is coming to Indianapolis.
Yeah, I wish it'd come to Indianapolis. Would you rather have WrestleMania in Indianapolis, or would you rather have the Royal Rumble?
Oh man, I think for the experience, WrestleMania. But honestly, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I just think it'd be funny.
I think what they're
it's The Rock and MJF somewhere down the line.
I really think
everybody.
Yeah, MJF is dealing with injuries. I think they just took him off the roster to make it where it's suspense, and when he finally comes back to get a bigger pop and stuff, I think he's still with AEW.
I think he signed a contract a while back, and they're trying to act like he hasn't. That's my opinion. I could be wrong. Maybe he hasn't signed a contract.
Now,
I don't know.
I would be happy if he went to WWE. That'd be great.
Maybe
I don't.
For Thursday, MJF joins.
And The Rock.
That would be nuts if they announced that on Thursday that he had joined.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
Do you really think that's how they announce it, though?
They're going to do what you always do when you have a big announcement. You announce a new title.
Sure, because there's only 400 of them out there. Why not another one?
I think we need a mid-card women's title, though, in my opinion.
If MJF if they announced Thursday night MJF officially signed with WWE, they better put Tony
AEW's in trouble.
On suicide watch.
Internet break.
That was.
Oh man.
And one thing before we start with our
you have entertainment just sitting, being on internet, reading everybody's reaction to it.
I want to bring up something that you guys might find interesting. I've just seen the pictures. I don't know much about her, but I don't know how long she's been wrestling. But Great Muta has a daughter that's wrestling now over in Japan, and she wears all the Muta getup, and it looks pretty interesting. I don't know much about her other than just seeing pictures.
You cut out? Did you say Muta's daughter?
Yes.
Okay. That's interesting.
I've seen the pictures. I like it.
I like the look. I don't know much about her, but we'll get started here. I'll start off with my pro wrestling top 5, and then me and Chris and Marcus will give our independent top 5 wrestlers for December. This is just for December, and then we've got our other list that we're going to do, all of us, I think. Okay, on my pro wrestling top 5 for the month of December, my number 5 was MJF. My number 4 was Bayley. I think she's really gaining steam with what's going on with Damage Control. I think we're going to see her become a big babyface again, so we'll see how that goes. Number 3, I know this may be a little unusual, but I give it to the Judgment Day as a collective group. What they're doing in the ring and comedy-wise and everything on every show, Raw, and before that, even other shows, I think is outstanding. My number 2 is Swerve Strickland. I hope AEW don't mess him up. I think he's outstanding. And my number 1 for month of December was Gunther. So that's my top 5 for pro wrestling. And our top 5 for independents for the month of December. Chris, you want to go first?
Okay. All right. Number 5, I have Cecil Cerveza. We saw him in quite a few big matches in the month of December.
Yes, we did.
Number 4, I got Jordan James. Number 3, Hidari. Hidari's continuing to be a fan favorite everywhere you see him at. We see him about everywhere anymore.
Yep.
Number 2, I have Michael Elgin. Saw him in a lot of big matches in the month of December. And number 1, I have Zay Gates. Been on fire, and saw him in a bunch of big matches in the month of December. Haven't got to see the one that Marcus mentioned earlier against Michael Elgin. Haven't seen that one yet, but we've seen Zay against Cecil. Saw him against Winchester.
Yep.
I mean, we've seen him against a bunch of matches. Well, a bunch of really all of them this month. But, so yeah, that's my top 5 for this month.
Okay, Marcus, would you like to go next?
All right, I got 2 honorable mentions only because I wasn't in house to see it. Cecil Cerveza for his win over Kripke. A fantastic match, but since I wasn't there, I can't put him in the top 5. And then I also had Christopher Gates as a honorable mention, since him and Hidari didn't win the tag team titles in WPW, but since I wasn't there, I can't put him in my list. I have a tie for number 5. They are tag teams. Shauna Reed and Haley Shadows defeated Hagley and Rojas in the best of 3. I don't know if it was the best of 3, but they had 3 good matches. And Shauna Reed and Haley Shadows are now the MFX tag team champions. And then, of course, you had Dalton Love and Luke Savage in a tournament finals to become the WCWO tag team champions. So they're at my number 5s. I had Jordan James. I had a lot of what Chris had. I had Jordan James at number 4. I had Michael Elgin at number 3. I've seen him in 4 promotions in the month of December: FEW, WCWO, NGW, BMFX. I've seen him all over the state, literally in the month of December. I had Hidari at number 2, and I had Zay Gates at number 1 as well. So,
Okay, my top 5 for the independent wrestlers for the month of December. I had number 5, Cecil Cerveza. Number 4, Jason Levi, who had a big win over Michael Elgin in the month of December in a championship match. Hidari, who had a bunch of big wins, also a tag team champion here just recently. Number 2 was Jordan James, who's the big champion of WCWO and a lot of matches. And my number 1, and I tell you, this dude is on fire, and I think you guys had him too, Zay Gates. Is my number 1. He's absolutely on fire.
if you've seen him a year ago, we were all laughing at him, literally laughing at him.
I don't know if I was laughing at him, but
Damn
yeah.
cool. And it was like, you're an idiot. And now a year later, he's the top talent in the state. That's fantastic. I mean,
As soon as you said Tony, I knew exactly who he was talking about.
No, man, he's on fire.
Yes, he
And the
is.
thing about it is, here lately, I'd say over the last couple months, it's like each time we've seen him, he's gotten better. He's better.
Yep, I agree, 100%. Okay, guys. I know some of us. I don't know who all did it, and whoever did it, you can. Maybe I think all of us did. Our 2023 top 10 wrestlers. Who would like to go first?
I will actually go ahead and go first.
was it the 2023 top 10 wrestlers? I thought you did the all-time wrestlers.
Yeah, you got the all-time.
Did both.
Oh, I didn't do the top 10 for 2023. I do have that category list you give me, but I didn't do the top 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I don't have that.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and go first. In no particular order, it pretty much goes as follows: Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, MJF, Trick Williams, Carmelo Hayes, Ilya Dragunov, Seth Rollins, and Shinsuke Nakamura.
Okay.
Strong list.
I can go now if you want.
Yep.
So I had some people in AEW kind of on the right outside the top 10. I just felt, for me personally, I couldn't do it because I didn't watch year round. But I did have MJF, Strickland, and Tony, all 3 kind of right there, but I didn't put them on the list. So it's all WWE. At number 10, I put Tiffany Stratton.
Yep.
I just think she had a really big year with NXT, and I think she's going to be great. Number 9, I put Io. She's had the belt for close to half a year now, probably, and she's been really great. Number 8, this might be controversial. I put LA Knight. I think most people would put him a lot higher. I like LA Knight. The only reason he's back at 8 is because they haven't done anything with him. Nothing to his fault, in my opinion. They just haven't done anything with him. Number 7, I put Wesley. He had a great year as the champion in NXT. He got hurt, last 2 months or so, but he had a great year. Number 6, I had Dom. He had a great year as well. Decent matches, but mostly the character work is why he's on this list for me. And number 5, I put Seth. Just there every week, fighting champion, had the belt for most of the year. He's been great. Number 4, I put Jey Uso. Jay's had a great year. You know, he started out in the year he was with the Bloodline, then the whole Civil War, and now he's a good guy, and I think he's one of the most over people right now, and I think he deserved to be on this list for me. The top 3 was really hard, but I went with Cody Rhodes at number 3. Pretty good, pretty great year. You know, Royal Rumble, and then the thing with Brock in the middle, he kind of was just doing whatever they could throw him, but he was still always contained being one of the most over, probably the most over person. And yeah, number 2 is Gunther. Consistent, really good matches. Some match of your contenders, gotten a lot better on the mic. But number 1 for me was Rhea Ripley. I think she's had good matches when they give her, and they mostly focused on character work for her for most of the year. But man, she's gotten so much better on the mic and character work. She always has been great in the ring. I think she's been the best all year.
Yeah, I went to Fastlane, and a buddy of mine that was kind of paying attention to what was going around the field house. I don't know how many signs, lesbos for like Rhea Ripley signs. I forget. I tell you that Rhea's pretty big, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Something I didn't know.
There was a lot of crazy signs that got taken away that night.
Chris, you want to go next?
Sure. 10, I had LA Knight. 9, Becky Lynch. 8, Bianca Belair. 7, Gunther. 6, Dominic Mysterio. 5, Rhea Ripley. 4, Cody Rhodes. 3, Seth Rollins. 2, MJF. And 1, Roman Reigns.
Austin's favorite. Okay, I'm gonna give my top 10 for 2023. My number 10 was Orange Cassidy, workhorse for AEW. Wrestles a lot of matches, wrestles every week, maybe sometimes multiple shows. He's my number 10. My number 9, Austin alluded to how big of a baby face he's become. Jey Uso, been a workhorse for WWE for a while. My number 8, another big fan favorite, Sami Zayn was my number 8. I think he's outstanding. The number 7 was Becky Lynch. Number 6 was Bryan Danielson, who's still having elite matches. Had a great match, that match he had with MJF, that Iron Man match he had here in the middle of the year, went 70 minutes. Outstanding. Number 5 is Cody Rhodes. My number 4 was Gunther. Number 3, MJF. Number 2, Rhea Ripley. And my number 1 was Seth Rollins. He's kind of the workhorse for WWE, in my opinion. So that's my top 10 for the wrestlers for 2023. Next up, we've got our year-end awards for pro wrestling. Marks, did you do that?
Yeah, I got that one.
Okay, you want to go first?
Well, do you want to just do each category and see what everybody put?
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll start off with the male wrestler of the year.
I had Gunther. And I don't like Roman Reigns, so Gunther's had the belt longer.
I'll go next. I had Seth Rollins.
I had Seth Rollins as well.
Roman Reigns.
I had a lot of contenders, but I went with Gunther as well. Seth, Cody, and Jay were the other 3 for me. Roman wasn't even on the list for me. He just wasn't there.
Yeah.
Wasn't there. You got to defend.
I'm not saying he wouldn't have been up there if he was there more. But yeah, for me it was Gunther, just like Marcus. I think he's just.
Didn't Roman wrestle more matches than MJF did this year?
Not more matches, but title matches.
You're the only one that put MJF on the list.
Title matches, not that many. He didn't have that many more title matches as far as title defenses. Real quick, Billy Buzz had a question. Hey guys, do you think that Rhodes will win the belt in 2022?
Yes.
Yeah,
I do. Yeah, I think he wins it.
Man.
And then we'll see Roman forever.
Don't let the Internet Risk Committee try to tell you otherwise.
Yeah, did everybody give their pick there for wrestling?
Marcus said Roman will be gone for good.
I think
been for a while. I bet he is.
Next up, the female wrestler of the year. I'll
Rhea.
go first. I had Rhea Ripley.
I had Rhea as well.
It was Rhea for me.
What you got, Chris?
I had Rhea.
Okay, that's all of us.
I mean, I had her as
That was cut
my
out there.
top. Yeah.
Okay, tag team of the year, guys.
Oh man.
I had the Usos. I know they're not technically together now, but if you went by the whole year, they were, to me, they were the best.
I had Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. They won the
That's
belts at
who I had.
WrestleMania. They got the headline WrestleMania. So did the Usos. They got the headline
They
WrestleMania.
did the Usos. Yep, that's what I got.
Something the tag teams don't hardly ever got to do. So I went with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens.
I did too.
I had to go with some Fastlane bias on this one. I went with Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso.
I went with Judgment Day, meaning mostly Finn and Priest because that's who the tag titles are on.
Right now.
Mostly just because consistency of being almost, all the year. Usos were up there, so was Sami and Kevin, but Sami and Kevin's for me got hurt because they got hurt because Kevin got hurt and the run wasn't as good as it could have been, and Usos just not being their full year. But I just thought Judgment Day deserved it for me because they were there the whole year and all that. So.
Okay, everybody went, I think, on that. Next, breakthrough or breakout wrestler of the year. I'll go first on this. I took LA Knight.
So just to clarify, does this mean new wrestler or someone that just had a really big year for the first time?
Yeah, somebody that just breakout star. I mean, it could be somebody brand new or it could be somebody that just
Okay, that's the way I took it. So I was just making sure. With that being said, I'll tell mine. I had Chad Gable.
great year.
He had a great year. Yeah.
I had LA Knight.
Yeah, I have LA Knight for WWE on NXT. For me, it was a tie between Trick Williams and Tiffany Stratton. Those two people on NXT. I mean,
You want mine?
yeah.
Yep.
Marcus?
I had Zoe Stark.
Yep, Zoe Stark's a good one
She's
too.
going somewhere.
I agree. Best promo. Who gave the best promos this year?
Punk's return.
I put Cody Rhodes for that.
Yeah,
I just thought.
I went
Yeah.
MJF.
That's who I went with.
I wrote down MJF and the Bloodline.
He's a big Roman fan, you know.
Yeah, mine was Punk's return promo on Raw after Survivor Series.
Okay.
Some of them Bloodline promos were the best of it.
That's true. But actually, Sammy was really good.
Well, yeah,
Yeah, maybe he should have been on there. Okay,
I thought
guys. Match of the year.
Whew. I'll go ahead and go first on that one because I know exactly what I put. It was there was actually two. Let me pull up here. Match of the year for me personally was Civil War at Money in the Bank and Tiffany Stratton and Becky Lynch from No Mercy.
Okay. Yeah, I did a men's and a women's because both these matches were the two right off the bat for me, and they're both really close. If I had to pick one, I'd pick the women's, but I wanted to say both. So first, I did the men's is the triple threat at WrestleMania: Sheamus, Drew, and Gunther. And the women's one, which I think was the best match of the year outright, was Charlotte versus Rhea at WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
I went with Charlotte versus Rhea at WrestleMania. My match of the year. Marcus, Chris?
I had Charlotte versus Rhea at WrestleMania.
I went to Pittsburgh City Steel Street Fight.
Judgment
Kevin
Day.
Owens with Sami Zayn taking on Damian Priest and Finn Balor at Payback.
Yeah.
That was a good one too.
Yeah, that was really good.
That was a good pay-per-view. It was a good pay-per-view.
And speaking of that, what was the best pay-per-view of the year, guys?
I'll go first. I had, there was some really good pay-per-views, but it was hard for me not to say WrestleMania. I mean, I just said my best two matches of the year were both on that card. It's not really fair, kind of, because it's a two-night show, but I went with WrestleMania 39.
Money in Bank and Fastlane.
I went Survivor Series.
What I went
That's a
with
good one.
Survivor Series. I could watch that and was doing pictures, and that
I
was a good.
went with the WrestleMania, but my second one would have been Survivor Series. I thought them were the two best this
WrestleMania was
year.
right there. I tell you, they really haven't had a bad one. I mean,
It was a good.
No. Even Backlash was good.
Backlash was.
You're just a CM Punk fan. That's the reason you say Survivor Series.
Yeah.
No, it was the War Games matches that got that one.
Yeah, I love that Bloodline Civil War match they
It's
had.
funny. CM Punk's music comes on and he goes, "What's going on?"
Yeah, I didn't hear the music.
And Austin said, "CM Punk."
I was like, "What do you mean?"
Yeah, but the logo's up on the.
I'm old. I'm blind. I can't hear very well. Give me a break. Okay.
I'm sorry you didn't hear. They were in Chicago. I'm sorry you didn't hear that like through the air
I know.
as loud as those guys was up there.
Okay, guys. Our next thing is a top 10 wrestlers of all time. This should be interesting because I know they're going to be very different. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. At 10, I have Randy Savage. 9, Roddy Piper. 8, Hulk Hogan. 7, Andre the Giant. 6, Bret Hart. 5, I have Undertaker. 4, I have Kurt Angle. 3, Shawn Michaels. And number 2, I have Stone Cold Steve Austin. And number 1, the Nature Boy Ric Flair.
Who'd like to go next?
For me, it was Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair, Stone Cold, Andre. Did I mention Hogan already? I'm just going off my mind here. Piper, Macho Man, and I'm just going to leave it at that one. I didn't put it together.
I can go next, or you can go. You go.
I'll go next. My number 10 was Bret Hart. Number 9, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Number 8 was Roddy Piper. Number 7 was Dusty Rhodes. Number 6, The Undertaker. Number 5, Andre the Giant. Number 4, John Cena. Number 3, Hulk Hogan. Number 2, Ric Flair. Number 1, Stone Cold.
All right, I'll go next. So my number 10, I put Sting. Number 9, I put Rey Mysterio. Number 8, I put Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Number 7, I put The Undertaker. Number 6, I had John Cena. Number 5, I had Triple H. 4, I had Bret Hart. 3, Shawn Michaels. 2, Stone Cold Steve Austin. And number 1, Kurt Angle.
Lord. All right.
Okay.
My first top 9, and they're kind of in order, I guess. I had Bruno Sammartino, and this is however you want to take them. Top 1 to 10 or 1 to 9. But anyhow, I had Bruno. I had Bob Backlund, Hogan, Flair, Bret Hart, Harley Race, Sting, Nick Bockwinkel, and Vern Gagne. That's 1 through 9. My number 10 I had trouble with. So I had, between 3 guys, I had Undertaker, David Von Erich, and Jerry Lawler, because they all kind of had the same type of.
This
You
makes
leave all those guys.
It was hard to get down to just 10.
It's very difficult.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, originally I had Ric Flair, but I listened to an interview with Flair yesterday, and they asked him who the GOAT was, who was the greatest of all time. And he said for him, it had to be Stone Cold because of what he did for the business. He said if Stone Cold don't catch on like he did, that WWE would have went out of business.
Well, that's pretty fact.
Yeah.
Because he's the one who pulled that away from the NWO, yeah.
So that's why when he said that because I had Stone Cold 2 and Flair 1, and I switched those 2.
Justin Danger says you can do 10 in every era.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah.
I went with some champions. That's where I went with to start with.
I tried to make mine a lot of different eras, but not a lot of all my favorites. Like I would have put Edge on there if it was favorites, but to me, Stone Cold, Shawn Michaels, and Kurt were the top three all the time, and I just think Kurt's the most complete wrestler for me in every category, so that's why he was number one for me.
Okay, guys. The last thing I have for tonight. See if you guys can see what you think of this list and see if you can guess. This is the women's with the most wins in history. This list was compiled, and this list was compiled on July 27th of 2020. That was the newest one I could find. So, who do you guys think was number 10 on the list of wins?
Now, did you say this is strictly WWE, right?
Yes.
Because we had a talk about who wasn't on that list.
Yes.
Okay.
What was it?
The women with most wins in WWE history. This is from 2020, July 27th. So this is in history, and this is when this list was done.
Molly Holly.
She did not make the list.
Lita.
Lita did not make this list.
That Bliss Moolah. It's got to be on.
Did not make the list.
No, that's what we were talking about.
Trish.
Matt Moolah never made the list. She was a champion for 400
Trish
years.
Stratus did not make the list.
Trish is on the list?
No.
Did Wendy Richter make the list?
No, she did not. I'm going to give you number 10. Number 10 with 320 wins. Beth Phoenix.
Okay.
Wow.
Natalia
Okay.
Hart.
Number 9. Nikki Bella with 340 wins.
Now, is that now you're not Hart on this list?
Who?
Natalia Hart.
Yes, she is.
Well, for crying out loud. Nikki Bella and Natalia.
Okay, we'll get to that. Number 8, Mickey James, 346 wins.
Becky Lynch, I like that being on the list then.
Number 7, Asuka, 451 wins. Number 6, Sasha Banks with 459 wins.
Becky Lynch probably number one.
This one's really surprised me. Number 5, Naomi, 473 wins.
And you can't tell me that you didn't get Lita on the list, but you got Naomi on the list.
Well, it's most wins.
Most wins. So I don't know how much. Well, see, I don't know how much they get a lot more time on TV now back than they did
Yeah.
back then. They
You
didn't,
know,
they didn't wrestle much on TV.
Was able to figure out who could be on it, who's not on it.
Number 4, Charlotte Flair, 490. Okay, guys, you think you guys can come up with the top 3?
Becky Lynch has got to be in there.
She's third with 505. Who's number
And he
2,
said
guys?
Trish. He
Bayley?
said Trish.
Yep, she's not on it.
Bayley.
Trish is-
Bailey's number 2 with 610.
Nia
And I
Jax.
think I think he was right with Natty. I think he
Number
he was
1
right.
was Natalia with 618 wins.
God, dang.
She just had a ton. She probably has the most losses too, though.
Yeah.
Probably.
Once I figure out what kind of list it was,
I wanted to do a tag team one. I cannot find anything. The only thing tag teams gives is how many championships they won.
Well, that
I
could
cannot
be for the fact that you can't keep guys together for very long.
Yeah, I can't
You
find
have the
it.
Road Warriors have Powers Pain, but then you have the guys like The Rock who tagged with half a dozen people and Stone Cold, and you can't keep a tag team together long enough to have a win-loss for 2 people.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, not many tag teams stay together very long anymore.
And let you guys know next week, the thing that I've got for we're going to do a brackets next week. I think it's going to be interesting. It's going to be the best of the 80s, the 90s, 2000s, and 2010s. How this is going to work, it's going to be a 32 person bracket. It's going to be the top 8 from the 80s, top 8 from the 90s, top 8 from 2000s, and top 8 from 2000s and 10s. The bracket will be set up. The 80s 8 will be here, and they will go up against. They will meet out to the finals against the 90s bracket, and the 2000s will meet out to the 2010s to get to the final 4. One thing you got to keep in mind: there's going to be some people's names that are going to be in multiple brackets because you may have. Well, let me find one. In the 80s, I have Hogan. In the 90s, I have Hogan. So you're going to have to keep that in mind. If they end up meeting up, who was stronger, the 80s Hogan or the 90s Hogan? So that type of thing, because we're going to have some multiples. So just keep that in mind. So we're going to do that next week.
All right. You got anything else tonight?
That's it for tonight. You guys got anything?
I also want to touch more on that Becky Lynch and Tiffany Stratton match that was in my top match earlier. The spots in those matches were just crazy because I was talking to Marcus about this at the show, and that doll spot was pretty entertaining.
I'll tell you a match that I think could have been match of the year. The cage match between Trish and Becky.
Mm-hmm.
That was a great match.
They put on one heck of a match. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it was really great. It could have been up here in the top, definitely top 10, maybe top 5 of match of the year. It was very good.
And big shout out to Warrior Pro Wrestling and my guys Ron and David Kraft.
Justin Danger did make a good point. Undertaker could be in all the bracket and all the
said that earlier.
He could be. Let me see. What he is.
Can't be in the 80s though.
He's not in the 80s.
Well, he was. He just wasn't the Undertaker.
Yeah.
He really wasn't anybody, but he was there.
Guys, you ain't gonna believe this. They don't have him down for the 90s.
Wow. I'm shocked about that one.
He's in the 2000s.
2010.
How could he not be in the 90s?
He's in the 2000s and the 2010s. I don't know how he's not in the 90s.
Is it even a legitimate bracket if Undertaker ain't on
it? That's true.
That's a crock of shit right there. If you ask
It
me.
is. How do you not have him in the 90s? I mean,
let me tell you who's in the 90s real quick. Number 1 is Stone Cold. Number 8 is Brett. Number 5 is Muda. Number 4 is Hogan. Number 6 is Foley. Number 3 is Shawn. I can't even read my damn right. Number 2 is The Rock. And son of a bitch.
I think you're missing 3 on that one.
No, he said Shawn was 3. I think he's missing 8.
Yeah, my 8. No, my 7 been 7. 7 takes on 2, but I can't read my damn 7. Son of a bitch.
I can't believe Muda's on there.
What? Is Goldberg?
Yeah, no, it's not Goldberg. I'm gonna have to go look that back up, guys. Sorry.
Kevin Nash?
Oh, you know who it is, guys? It's Diesel.
Oh yeah.
I figured something tells us that make that Kevin Nash.
But it wasn't Taker. Okay, that made a hell of a lot of sense. Let's put Muda
That
on.
does not make sense.
Can we just go ahead and say Diesel's out already, even though it's
And Muda and put Taker in there, and let's swap in people.
We could put Taker at 5 and put Muda at 7.
I'll put Muda at
What
8.
about Steamboat? I mean, there's
let's
no
just-
fight all day on this.
Okay, guys. Here's the 80s. Number 1, Flair. Number 8, Sting. Number 5, Harley. Number 4, Piper. Number 6, Savage. Son of a bitch. Number 3, Dusty Rhodes. Number 7, Nick Bockwinkel. Number 2, Hulk Hogan.
Now, you know what's weird about that? Sting didn't become the world title holder until like July of '90, and so he's in the '80s. It's like he's in the wrong bracket. He didn't really. Man, I'll have to go back and look at that. I know he was the U.S. title holder, but to be really anybody, I don't think he was really anybody until the '90s.
2000s, number 1's Undertaker. Number 8, Cena. Number 5, Shawn. Number 4, Kane. 3, Rock. 6, Triple H. 7, Orton. 2, Austin.
That ain't bad.
2010s, number 1, Cena. Number 8, Roman. Number 5, Punk. Number 4, Brock. Number 6, Seth. Number 3, Undertaker. Number 7, Daniel Bryan. Number 2, Randy Orton.
I feel like Dan Bryan might be a little bit too low on that list. That's just
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I don't know how Diesel made that list.
Now, Warriors.
Let's just make our
Diesel
We'll
had a good run 93, 94, 95. And then as Kevin Nash, he had a pretty good run 97, 98, 99. So
No honky tonk man. Come on now.
no. But how do you have Muda on there instead of Undertaker?
I don't know how you have Muda on there, because what do you remember Muda even doing in the '90s?
let's just make our own bracket,
W, but
and we all 5 do one era. You can do 80s, 90s. I'll do 2020s. We'll make our own bracket.
All right, I'll do a 10 people for 80s.
Also, I felt like
Which would
Triple H was a little bit low in the 2000s as well because his long world title ran Raw, you know.
Yeah. How do you have Kane 4 in 2000s and Triple H 6?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Triple H didn't make the list.
I flip him, but still Triple H still be too low. 4, I'll probably put him in the top 3.
Well, let's see.
I agree.
2000s, you had Undertaker 1. Okay. You had 2 Orton, 3 Rock. Yeah, I could see Triple H 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, that era, yeah. That's
Okay,
weird.
guys.
All right, we appreciate everybody joining us. Don't forget tonight at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, we'll be airing WCW Cagemas.
Hell, I didn't know that.
I didn't either. That's good to know.
Put it on. You didn't see it on the social
No,
media?
I didn't see it on social media. You could have just told me. Let's see.
I figured you saw it. You're always on the.
You know, I don't see no shit on that.
Yeah, 8:30 tonight on our YouTube page at Gonzo'S Sports Room. WCW Cagemas from last Friday.
Right.
Go check that out. It was an awesome show.
That was a good show. Very good.
Please hit that subscribe button on YouTube, like and follow Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, all at Gonzo'S Sports Room. We appreciate everybody watching, and we'll see you guys next week back on Monday.
Have a good one.
That'd be absolutely devastating.
Here, this is Joey Owens Show. They've been trying to get me on this podcast forever, and this is the worst damn podcast I've ever been on. So you all can kiss my ass while I win this match.